You went very Bobcatter then. I don't know who or what Bobcatter is. That could be a person or a band or a show. It sounds like a pun name, like Bobcat Goldthwait. You know, that American comedian boy? What's Bobcatter? It sounds like a fake name. Right, we're in Rust. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. We'll wander around in here. If we see anybody, kill someone. That's basically how it goes. Unless I know them personally, like I've spoken to them voice to voice, I'm gonna kill them.
No, please don't.
Oh, fuck me! Oh, fuck, they've got food. Fucker. Yeah, okay. He's the Australian man! Let 1,000 blossoms bloom, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not going to spend any time on it. That one? That guy? Straight away. A second. I love that clip. Oh, it still says just chatting, thank you. I'll change it over to Rust. Rust. Done. Fantastic. Bob Catter. Just type in Bob Catter, it'll come up, I'm sure. There we go.
People are entitled to their sexual proclivities. You know, I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned. You know, but I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
I love Evil Bilbo. I mean, really awful human being, clearly, but that is really fucking funny. Oh, good ads. Oh, I saw this ad in the cinema last night. Fuck me, I hate it. It's a bank or an insurance fucking agency or something, and it's like, more human. We're more human than the average bank. It's like, fuck off. Die. I have a very low tolerance for that kind of ad.
PTSB. Altogether more human.
Altogether more human. Oh, fuck
and
off.
a final observation on the same-sex marriage debate from Bob Catter.
I mean, you know, people are entitled to their sexual proclivities. You know, I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned. You know, but I ain't spending any time on it because in the
I just love the Evil Bilbo. That ad had a Grizzly Bear song. I've never listened to Grizzly Bear. I've heard of them. They're apparently very good, but I've never bothered listening. Let me go back over to this. Let's respawn. Oh, Christ. Instant death. We should make a weapon as soon as possible in that case, so that we can at least stab someone instead of beating them to death with a rock. Although, I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't take many hits with a rock this size to kill me. So maybe they should have gone down quicker. The amount of times I quote that daily is frankly embarrassing. It's always living just in the back of my mind somewhere. Let 1,000 blossoms bloom, as far as I'm concerned, especially. Like, his voice goes so high-pitched. When every 5 minutes, a man's torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland. Is that even true? That can't be true. Every 5 minutes. That can't be true. How? No matter what he said, I don't think I'd believe it. Was it months? I don't even know. Nah. I imagine crocodiles don't kill many Australians. Imagine they'd be used to them by now, right? If you're eaten by a crocodile, this is very unfair what I'm about to say. If you're eaten by a crocodile, what were you doing hanging around that crocodile? I sort of victim blame, I think. If you're eaten by a crocodile, I'm not saying you 100% deserve it, but like, come on now. You know where crocodiles live. They live in the water. Just don't go in Australian water. I think he did say months, but it was also not accurate. I just don't imagine crocodiles kill that many people. They do kill people. Saltwater crocos. Crocos, they do eat a lot of... Not eat a lot of people, but they do kill people. They're a bit like hippos. They go for humans. Most animals that are predators do not really give a fuck about humans. We're too big, and they think we look weird, I think is genuinely what it comes down to. They think we look strange, and we don't taste particularly good to them. That's why sharks don't particularly attack humans, and lions don't particularly attack humans that much. Unless you, like, step right up to them and go, "Woogaboa!" Then they'll eat you. Or they'll kill you, but they probably won't eat you. Bears very rarely eat people, something like that. Crocodiles do attack people unprovoked. That's one of the few ones that do. Remember when that Disney alligator ate that child in Disney? No. What? When was this? 2 people per year or something. Yeah, that's about what I'd expect, to be honest. There are a lot of crocodiles in the area, but not that many. It's not like there's as many deaths from cars. Why are you naked and rocking? Did you get floored? I mean, 5 seconds in, but I've only just loaded up into this wipe, so I'm alright. I was going to be that anyway. I can probably make a stone spear now, right? Stone spear, and then make a stone pickaxe, and maybe a stone hatchet as well. You know what? We're already sorted. Did I just make 2 stone pickaxes? Fuck off. Right, stone hatchet. We're already sorted. Everything's fine. We've already got plenty of stuff. We are now basically guaranteed to win. A couple of years back, people were hunting any alligators for vengeance. Oh, poor little alligators. I have finally sort of transformed Emma into an alligator liker, or a crocodile liker. I've shown her so many images of cute little crocodiles and crocodilians that she's now like, oh, they're kind of cute, they're kind of sweet. She used to hate them. I will eventually do that with cows as well. I think cows are very adorable, and I keep dragging her past like a little field of cows on walks and going, look. Yes, alligators are way more chill than crocodiles. Crocodiles are the prick ones. I still find them cute, but they are apparently pricks. Alligators, it seems like you have to really piss off an alligator for it to eat you. Or to do anything to you, really. It seems like an alligator, you have to basically go up and slap it across the face before they'll do anything. They seem fairly chilled out. These were Disney alligators, though. A couple of years back, people were hunting any alligator for vengeance. Was this a Disney, like, are you talking about a real thing, not in a cartoon? Did an alligator at Disney eat a child? Is that something that happened? I have no idea. Is this like the alligator? Yes! Really? I thought you were talking about, like, what's a movie where an alligator eats somebody? Like Peter Pan? I thought you were talking about something like that. Like, oh, it's, you know, they had a child death in a Disney movie. Isn't that weird? I didn't realize it was an actual child death. I don't know. It's a bit like Harambe. What was that child doing there in the first place? Sorry, I'm not blaming the child. So did I. I just assumed. Oh, look at her little paw. Sorry, got distracted by pig. Right, where am I going? I'm going to set a thing. What was it, H13? Was there? Let's head up here somewhere. In this sort of vicinity. Parents met the full force of Disney lawyers and didn't get a payout. Oh, Christ. Oof. Disney lawyers are the most aggressive lawyers on Earth. Nintendo give them a run from their money, actually. Nintendo are pretty vicious with lawyers. Nintendo ruined that guy's life for distributing, like, fucking N64 games recently. But Disney, maybe even worse. Disney are pretty bad. Disney are the ones, and look, I know it's got complicated copyright law and stuff like that, but Disney several times have demanded, like, child graves be taken down because they have, like, an etching of a Spider-Man or something. It's pretty grim when you read about Disney law. Disney law. Did you know? I don't know if this still counts because it can't. I mean, it was never actually true. But Disney claim that nobody has ever died at a Disney park through accident or illness because basically it is alleged that they will just have ambulances rush you off site as quickly as possible if they see somebody dying, so that they can say that. I don't know why they'd even bother, so I feel like it might be a rumor, but it's evil. They're evil enough that you could believe it, right? Is the problem. It's like you can make up anything about Disney, and it's believable because they're evil. This kid got eaten by an alligator whole. Technically, they weren't touching the ground when they died. They were in an alligator belly. So maybe that's how it works. Your kid named their pet mouse Mickey, sharpens the guillotine. I mean, I would do that, but just for sort of being a sort of, simp for brands. I think I'd disown that child. They have underground tunnels, and yes, it's true, they do rush you outside. Wow. Technically, the child was alive until we got the alligator offsite. Look, it's just a weird place. I've never been to Disney. And I never will. I had the opportunity to when I was in Florida, and I went, nah, that looks bad. I don't want to go there. Ooh, a salvaged hammer. I'll take that. Thank you. It's not to ruin the magic of the park. The magic of Disney. Which I don't really get. Because again, I didn't grow up. I'm not going to spend like 5 more minutes bad-mouthing Disney or anything. But I didn't grow up with Disney. And so I have no nostalgia for Disney. I never watched Disney stuff growing up, really. I watched The Lion King when I was very small. That's about it, and didn't really love it. So I feel like I never got sort of indoctrinated into the whole Disney thing. And so, I don't know. I don't think Disney are good, basically. I think they get you when you're young and have outrageous brand presence, and that's about it. I don't think I like any Disney movies, really, or at least love any. There's a couple that are okay. I like 101 Dalmatians. So many people try and spread their loved ones out in the park. I did read this. This might have been the same article that I'm getting the original fact from. I read that basically they do not allow that and will hoover up ashes as soon as they notice it. Like, they stop them if they can, and if they can't stop them, they immediately hoover them and throw them in a landfill. Like, they do not like that, which, I get it, I guess. Disney World is great. I was there in July. I've seen... I went through a period of binge watching Defunctland, which is a YouTube channel that sort of documents old defunct rides and theme parks. And I fundamentally, and I'm not saying it's bad, I really am not, because I've heard so many people say that they love Disney World and Disneyland or whatever the differences are. But I fundamentally do not understand what's meant to be fun about a theme park. I don't get it. I really don't. Like, when I watch, like, he'll do, like, walkthroughs of rides and sections of Disney World and stuff. And it'll be like, and there's people in costume, and the rides are not roller coasters, but there's, like, Disney characters, like, milling about them and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't get what's fun. I don't get it. Like, if it's not a roller coaster, like, Disney World didn't really seem to have anything that I would consider a proper roller coaster. It was all just, like, immersive rides and stuff like that. Like, roller coasters, I do find them fun. But Disney World, I can't think of much worse than going to a theme park. I'm definitely in that camp. I went to a couple of parks in Orlando in Florida when I went there. And the one I liked even a little bit was Busch Gardens. And that was not as much a theme park as... here's all the roller coasters you can fucking stand over the course of about 2 hours, right? That was really fun. I liked that. I felt so sick, I thought I would die, and then I got over it and went on even more roller coasters, right? That was good. But then when I see theme parks that are all in on, like, actually theme stuff, that's, boring as shit to me, basically. Like, I went to Universal. Universal is similar to Disney World, right? In that it is all theming. The rides suck shit, but the theming is all there. Like, all the streets are themed after movies and Universal Magic and backlots, and then all the rides are just like immersive VR shit and like carousels, essentially, or like the baby coasters. And I hated it. I really hated it. My parents really liked it. And I asked them why, and they went, I just think it's neat, basically. And I was like, I just can't wrap my head around it, because I have never had less fun than at Universal. I really, really didn't like it. We went on, like, a couple of Harry Potter-themed roller coasters, and something themed around the Hulk, which seemed to be kind of the only coaster they had. And oh Christ, we went on the Jimmy Fallon experience. That made me want to end my own life. Oh, and then we just walked around, and we went to, like, the wizarding world of Harold Potter's. And oh Christ, I would have rather been anywhere else, I think. I genuinely think I would have rather had sat at home in the hotel and just sort of stared at a wall than gone to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter for longer. I've really despised it. I may have to leave your stream for this. I won't accept this universal slander. It's unacceptable. Oh, we walked through Diagon Alley and looked at all of the fucking... Oh, look at Pig. We went through Diagon Alley and looked at all the potion shops and the wand shop. And I was like, oh. We went through anti-Semitic bank simulator at Gringotts. And I went, oh, she's biting the camera. Hello, Pig. Oh, look at her nose. Hello. Hello, Pig. Were you chewing the camera? Hello. You can keep going. I don't really care. Oh, I hear bullets. And I don't have a gun. I don't really have anything. So, Universal was kind of wank, not worth the money. I would have agreed. I wasn't paying for it, which is why I tagged along. But I did not like Universal. I thought Universal was the worst place we went to. We went to some sort of water park, which was fine. I like swimming. That was okay. The floor was too hot and I burned my little soles. But other than that, it was nice. Went to Busch Gardens. That was fun. I did not like Florida. I would never go to Florida again. Oh, there's a person. I should get a weapon. Let's go get a weapon and try and kill some people. I might build right here. This looks kind of nice. Like on the top of me. Oh, maybe on the top of the hill. Although, can I build this close to the water treatment plant? I want to go over this way. Like a little bit further up and build in this little copse. Might be nice. I just want to put something down so I'm not just like running around. This is why we can't share locations. Let's go. Let's put down something. Fuck me, that scared me. Oh, I can't build this close to water treatment plant, so I need to go off in this direction somewhere. Yeah! Bloodlust. What is Pig doing? Well, now she's just sitting. Can I not put close to water? Fuck me, I'm not that close to water treatment plant. Let's go up here into this bunch of woodland. That might be far enough away. Going back in a few years, once the new park opens, I wholeheartedly disagree with you and your chat's opinion. That's fine. I mean, look, there's a reason. There must be a reason, is what I'm going to say. Because I'm not going to say there is a reason. There has to be a reason that it's so successful and so beloved. So I am very clearly in the minority, and it makes a lot of fucking money, and a lot of people were there, and a lot of people were smiling when they weren't arguing with their children. I did see that a lot in the parks we went to. A lot of very tired parents going fucking ballistic at their children. But, you know, people really like it. So there must be something there. There must be something that's nice about it. It's just that I didn't get it. What did I miss? His mouth is sopping with blood. That is such a gross way to put anything. I mean, if you like it, more power to you. Like, again, my parents really liked Universal. I actually asked what was their favourite thing they did in Orlando. They said Universal Studios. And again, I'm just going to say, one of the things we did in Universal Studios was go on something called the Jimmy Fallon Experience. Fucking hell. Just absolutely disgusting way to spend your day. But they enjoyed it. I think it's because they're terrified of roller coasters, actually. They're terrified of roller coasters, and so they liked the kind of easy listening version of roller coasters, where you just kind of get in a booth and it shakes around a bit and maybe sprays water at you while Jimmy Fallon whisks you through New York, or Harold Potter goes, "Hermione, we have to catch the golden snitch!" And then a dragon breathes on you or something. Oh, you know what? Actually, I didn't mind the Mummy. Of all of the things at Universal, you've just reminded me, I thought the Mummy Returns ride, or whatever it was fucking called, was kind of fun. That was the only one that I would recommend. I thought that was okay. It was also not particularly a long wait. Like, a lot of the rides there, despite being what they are, fucking like an hour-long wait to get in. So the Mummy seemed old enough that people didn't care. Do they still have the Jaws one? I don't know if they did when I went there. I wasn't really looking, though, to be honest. What about Tato World? Distressingly, it's no longer called Tato Park. I'd go to Tato Park. I'll still probably go to Tato Park. Tato Park, now called... I don't even know what it's fucking called now, but is a safari park / roller coaster park in Ireland. And it was called Tato Park for many years. And now it's not. You no longer get free Tatos when you go in, or can hug a giant Mr. Tato. Aw. Lame. How much to donate to sing a version of R.E.M's Fall on Me, but you amend the lyrics to be Fallon Me, and the video of someone dressing you up as Jimmy Fallon while you sing? Oh. Jesus Christ. I did one of those at Disneyland too. It's the most I can stand. I've never seen my dad be more frightened than roller coasters. He went on, at Busch Gardens, he went on, I believe it's called the Cheetah. It's called the Cheetah, and it's the baby ride. It's the Cheetah because it doesn't do any loops, but it just goes quite fast. It's just like a big circuit, and it goes relatively fast, and then ends, right? And I went on it with my brother, and we loved it. It was like a nice warm-up. We were like, the amuse-bouche of the roller coaster world. Fantastic. Now we'll get onto the proper roller coasters. And then my mum and dad got on afterwards and did the roller coaster and got off and looked like they had died and been resurrected in a bad way. Like, they actually looked like they were corpses. They had gone sheet white and their eyes were wide as plates. And I went, "Are you okay?" And they went, we're going to go on like the sightseeing tram ride instead for a while. You go on the roller coasters. Here's a fast pass. Just don't make us do that anymore." I went, "Yeah, right." But they were so fucked up by it. The worst I've ever seen my dad in particular was at the water park. There was a water slide. I can't even remember what this is called. But you would get in what looked like a cryo tube or something, stand up and do that. Like a sarcophagus, upright, right? You'd get up, you'd stand in it, do that with your hands, and then they'd drop you like 10 feet straight down, and then a slide would start in the dark, and fucking swizzle you around and then fucking jet you out into a pool. And I absolutely loved it. It felt like being sealed in a coffin and then launched into the fucking earth. I loved it. It was so fun. I laughed all the way down. Just little fucking giggles as I got dropped 15 feet or something. My dad came out of it. My dad came out of it looking the most upset he's ever been. Like, I actually thought he was dead. He physically could not speak for about 5 minutes, I'm gonna say. Like, without exaggeration, I don't think he actually uttered a word for 5 minutes other than later. And then just like walked off. Like sat on a towel looking out into space for a bit. Oh, I loved it so much. It was just a pitch black. You get dropped down, so your stomach... You know that feeling when you jump off something that's maybe a little bit too high and you didn't realize, and your stomach kind of lifts and goes weightless, and you go, oh, that... I love that feeling so much. Oh, it's so nice. And it was basically that, but, you know, for the whole slide. I think I went on it twice. I really like that feeling. Did he go down the slide like the copper in the States, where he gets inexplicably barreled around? That's one of my favourite videos of all time. The fucking barreling, where it just goes, and like squirts out of the end. Oh, I used to enjoy that feeling too, but at some point around my 30th, I stopped being able to handle it. I hope I don't get like that, because I really like that. Right, I'm going to make a big house. I think I might make like a ranch-style house this time. Like basically a big bungalow. Oh God, you're a strange person. I've never related to your parents this much. I like roller coasters. I like sort of adrenaline rides a little bit, which is weird because I'm not really an adrenaline seeker person. I don't know. I do really enjoy runner's high. But I'm really anti-running. Like, I hate running. It takes forever to not suck. And even when you do get into it, it's just not something I love. But it's almost worth it for the runner's high, where your adrenaline is so high and your endorphins are rushing through you and you feel like you're about to pass out. It's so good. Or if you've ever been slapped across the face, oh, that's so good. And it just activates your fight or flight response. I really like the sort of adrenaline hit, basically. I loved roller coasters, but had really bad labyrinthitis once, and now can't do them without being in bed for a week. I don't know what that is, but it sounds horrible. I don't know what labyrinthitis is. It sounds like a fear of getting trapped in a maze, but I can't fear it. Right, let's start off with this house. David Bowie comes and gets you. Oh, Christ. He starts using various parts of you as those, like, glass balls, the, like, fushigi balls, whatever they're called. Right, let's just build just a standard little house for a second. Like, nothing fancy, just enough to, like, not instantly die. Fear of Bowie twiddling those shiny, shiny balls. Labyrinthitis. It sounds like an illness, right? Like, it doesn't end in phobia, so it's not a fear. It must be like an actual, like, illness, I imagine. I want, like, a central courtyard, maybe. And then, like, this can be an atrium. Getting fancy. This can be an atrium. And then we can have this. And then, like, another doorway here. I think that works. There we go. That could be fun. When your cochlea releases balance fluid and makes you dizzy. Oh, that sounds like it could be really fucking unpleasant. I mean, shocking nobody. Let's make another campfire just while I'm out of, you know, stuff. Out of light. There we go. This'll do for now. And one here. Just, you know, light things up a bit so I can actually see what I'm doing. Wonderful. Let me make a door so I'm not in imminent danger of being fucked up. Make a lock on that door, and then put down a tool bench somewhere. We're actually making some progress. I've never had balance problems. My Nana and Emma both do, and it sounds really bad, or sort of vertigo kind of stuff, like inner ear issues. Really makes you appreciate an inner ear. Bowie ball fear is worse, though. David Bowie's a bit creepy in that. You know, a lot of people find him hot, but also a bit creepy. I mean, he is basically grooming a small child in that movie. She's like 14 or something. Maybe even playing younger. He does steal a baby and then essentially seduce a teenager. Which, you know, if allegations about Bowie are true, maybe he's just not really acting. My balance is shot with age. It can get you that way too. Oh. My balance has never really been that good, I think. Like, it's not the worst balance in the world, but it's not good. I wouldn't say it's actually anything special. Let's put a doorway here, and another doorway here. I don't need it there, never mind. Let's put some more doors up instead. And put some wood in. I never actually put some wood in the fucking thing. There we go. I'm burning! Lovely. 27 days of upkeep. We'll have to upgrade it soon. Not far to fall then. Little joke about balance. Christ. Big stretch. I don't know. I've fallen off so many walls in my life, mainly when I was a kid. I don't really climb very much anymore, which does kind of make me a little bit sad. You know, when I think about how much I used to love climbing trees and old medieval walls in my town, I do sort of think, maybe I should do that again. But I feel like, number one, I could genuinely hurt myself if I fell now, because I'm older and less springy and cartilaginous. Number two, I would be a little embarrassed, I think. I think if I went to, like, my local town walls and started climbing up them. Also, it would be probably quite easy, because they're not that high walls. When I was 8, those walls seemed very, very high. Now that I'm 20-something-ish, 27, now that I'm 27, they don't look very tall, and it doesn't look very satisfying to climb. I'd like to climb again, though, but not in like a... This is kind of the problem, because I know that whenever I say that sort of thing, I can hear people going, oh, join a gym or a climbing wall or something. That's not what I want. What I want is essentially a playground or like an old ruin. I want somebody to open like a child's playground that adults are allowed in. That's something that's good. I would like that. I don't want anything serious or for actual exercise. It's like occasionally, I was about to say break in. I don't break in, but I will go when it's no one's around to the local play park in my town and go on the swings. And usually it's at night. And I'll very occasionally I do this. And I'll just sort of go on the swings for a little bit. And it'll be nice. You know, it's a nice thing. You can listen to a podcast or some music and just like swing in the moonlight. And it's really lovely. And I really enjoy it. And, it slightly hurts your legs now as an adult, but that's about it. It's like a good time. A child's playground that adults were allowed in, it's called Brewdog, that big place in London with slides. Is there a thing called that? Brewdog sounds like a brewery. Do they serve beer? Is it a place for, like, stag doos to go? It's like the sort of place where they shout lads at you. Jump Zone in the Liffey Valley. Hang on. Liffey Valley, Jump Zone. Jump Zone Liffey Valley is the perfect location for individuals, parties, school groups, and corporate teams. Oh, we have trampolines, climbing frames, foam pits, and more. Play ad. Jump Zone. Indoor trampoline park. I love trampolines too. I think you're describing a playground at night. Yes. I have never hurt myself worse than being on trampolines, but I still love them. The amount of times I have nearly broken limbs on trampolines. Fuck me, they're great. I just want to do, basically, I'm very boring on a trampoline as well. Basically, all I will ever do on a trampoline is jump as high as possible and try and do as many flips as I can until I pass out. But even then, I nearly kill myself so many times on trampolines. I think it's a fairly normal trampoline experience, though. They're quite dangerous. Especially the ones that you used to get with the fucking exposed springs. I think now a lot of people build them into the ground. Dreya Khan, a jump zone confirmed. Oh, it's like Bounce. Is that a place called Bounce? Remove. I'm gonna slightly... I don't know, I haven't decided how I'm gonna make this yet. Sure, I'll put a door here for something. Doorway here for something. And then another doorway here, maybe? For security reasons? Like that? And put a couple of doors in there. I went to a park with a playground in Manchester when I was on acid. And it really seemed like it was made for adults on acid. Very big seats. You've all lived so much more interesting lives than I have. It's slightly depressing. Like, when I read things like that, I'm like, man, you've like properly lived a life. I binged all the Final Destination movies over the weekend, and whenever I see active equipment now, I get paranoid. Emma and I did that recently. We also binged all of the Final Destination movies over... It was probably about 2 weeks. But, Christ, it was like self-harm. It's really fucking bad, isn't it? Some of them made me laugh. There was a scene at the end of one of them where a small boy gets blown up by a gas cooker. That's funny. And there was a scene where a stoner gets cut in half by some barbed wire. That's also funny. A lot of it was so stupid it made Emma quite mad. Emma, at various points, was shouting at the screen during Final Destination, going, I hate you, the people who made this. But some of it was fun. Me and my mates at uni chipped in and bought one in our final term and used it all summer before we left. That sounds so wholesome. We used it so much, most of us had to go see chiropractors due to the push of a vertebra. That sounds amazing. 4 is really bad. I think 4 is the worst one, yes. 1 maybe is the second worst, genuinely. Oh, here we go. My opinion is 1 is meh, 2 and 3 are funny, 4 is terrible, and 5 gets a bit better again, but not great. I think that's my exact opinion. 1 takes itself way too seriously, and it's not good enough to do that. It's trying to be a real movie, and it's embarrassing to watch it. It's like somebody trying to run a marathon, and they have just never practiced, and they're taking the piss. 2 and 3 are funny because they're very bad. 4 is unwatchable, and 5 is kind of funny again. I love how 4 isn't even called 4, it's the Final Destination, but then they made another one. Yeah, it felt like it was meant to be the end, and then they went, make another one. I think 5 is the best reviewed one, weirdly. I thought 3 was probably the best one. Which one has Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it? Way too fucking good for that movie. I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead might be in the 3rd one. With, like, grungy emo boy with a gun. I think that's that one. Like, she is so much better than the rest of the cast in any of the movies that you go, what the fuck was her agent doing? Like, I don't even really think... I like Mary Elizabeth Winstead and stuff, but I've never considered her, like, an incredible actor. But in this, she is so much above anybody else in that franchise that I was like... Jesus, you must have, like, pissed somebody off to get this role. Like, somebody must not like you to cast you in this. You deserve better. You were in 10 Cloverfield Lane, a good movie. And Scott Pilgrim, which I like, but probably isn't actually a good movie. 3 is definitely the best. Apparently at the time, people thought it was too much more of the same, but I wonder what they're expecting from a Final Destination movie. I feel like now... that wouldn't get leveled at Final Destination. It's a bit like Saw or something where, yeah, you go because it's a Final Destination movie. You go because it's, you know, some stupid shit's gonna happen. She was a Scream Queen for a while? I guess I've only seen her in stuff that's a bit more critically acclaimed. Again, I like Scott Pilgrim. I know a lot of people take issue with Scott Pilgrim, and for good reason. But I like Scott Pilgrim. That's a millennial movie. I think that's maybe the only... I've seen her in like 3 or 4 things then. And that one is the worst, I would say. But again, it's fun. You watch Final Destination. That's why I actually assumed I would really hate it and it would be unwatchable, Final Destination. Because I watched the first one before I watched any of the others. Like, there was a break in between. And it's really boring and it's trying to take itself seriously and the kills aren't that silly. You know, it's somebody, like, accidentally strangling themselves in a bath and stuff like that. It's not, like, profoundly weird Rube Goldberg shit in the first one. It's trying to be a real movie, which is a bad idea for a Final Destination movie. But it's trying to be real. It's trying to be taken seriously. It's only in the sequels where they went, let's get wacky. Let's do some mad shit that nobody could possibly take seriously. And it really worked for them, because that became their brand. Anyway, I would never watch any of them again. This is not really a recommendation for Final Destination. It's more, if you're in the mood to sort of, you know, mock a movie. Like, if you're in the mood to watch a movie where you laugh, but you're very much laughing at the movie, not with the movie, then watch the Final Destination movies. It's like watching Troll 2 or something. Troll 2 is more funny, to be honest. But, It's like watching something like The Room or Troll 2, where you're laughing at the movie. I think it's a rare case of 2 and 3 being better than the first. Yes, it found its feet a little bit. Good for them, I guess. I mean, they recognize what they were. Ugh. Hope you're having fun. Final Destination is a total hangover, nothing else to watch. Troll 2 is peak nonsense, though. I like Troll 2 a lot. I've watched it twice. And it's very fun. Like, I made Emma watch it recently. Made sounds worse than I mean it. I asked her to watch it and she went okay. But, why the fuck is this here? Is that my sleeping bag? Where am I? Hang on. I should probably, like, actually mark where my house is before I go out. I watched the first Troll movie for the first time with Emma fairly recently, actually, because I'd never seen Troll 1. And, that one's weird. There's a guy called Harry Potter in it, who is an 11-year-old magic boy. A weird sort of, you know, knock-on effect from that movie. And Elaine from Seinfeld is in it. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who is, again, way too good to be in that. Jesus. It must have been her first role, or she just pissed somebody off. A bit like Mary Elizabeth Winstead in Final Destination 3. I don't know, I like watching bad movies sometimes. I've been trying to convince Emma to watch a movie called Dracula versus Billy the Kid for a while now, and she won't watch it because it looks too bad. That's the role she met her husband in. Really? I don't know who her husband is the problem. I think the first Troll is underrated for how funny it is. I do as well. I think it gets overshadowed by Troll 2, because Troll 2 is one of those once-in-a-lifetime movies, a bit like The Room, where it's so unbelievably bad that you can't quite believe what you're watching. Whereas Troll 2 is just, like, quite funny. Troll 2 is like a funny time. Or Troll 1, I should say, is just a funny time. Troll 2 is like a transcendent experience. When that woman has sex with that guy in all the corn, like, when that child pisses on all their food, like, it is iconic. That's the best word for it, I think. What am I doing? I'm putting on a marker. Here we go. Let's put the marker there. There, I have a house. There are no Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, that's for sure. I saw somebody tweeting about Welcome to Raccoon City recently, and I had genuinely forgot I watched that. And I went, I feel like they sort of owe me reparations in some way for making me watch that. All of the Resident Evil movies are very bad. I haven't seen some of the animated ones, but all of the... When did you see it? Didn't we watch that together? Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Is that the one? 1 second. Welcome to Raccoon City. I've looked that up. 2021 action horror film. Yes. I watched this on Discord. I think possibly with you. Yes, there was that Discord viewing a while back. I think I watched this with you. First live-action film in the series not to feature Mila Jovovich. God, it's not good. Look, it's no worse than any of the Mila Jovovich ones, because she's bad, and those movies are bad, and you should never watch them. Ooh! What? Oh! Yeah, that's what I get for tabbing out. Okay. Haven't seen that one. Don't. I wouldn't say it's... The TV show was so bad. I didn't even know there was a TV show. There's a TV show? It's much better than the usual Rezzies. It's not a high bar, but maybe. Honestly, I've seen a few of the... I've seen it more than you'd think of the... What are they called? Dreya, I am so sorry. I deserved it. I've seen a few of the Mila Jovovich ones, and they are really, really terrible. Like, they're... Oh... Unwatchable is not that much of a reach, to be honest. They're really bad. I haven't played any Rezzies yet. I've played 2 Resident Evil games. One main series one, Resident Evil 4, when I was 10. I played Resident Evil 4 when I was 10. I think I finally finished when I was 11. And I liked it. I don't know if it's aged particularly well. I know Nuku doesn't think it's aged particularly well. But I liked Resident Evil 4, and I liked playing it in VR recently enough for like 2 hours. And I played the other one, Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles, which is a spin-off rail shooter for the Nintendo Wii that I played when I was about 12 years old. And even at 12, I thought, this is really not good. This is a bad game that shouldn't be played. So, there we go. And it's shit. So yeah, don't play that one. I don't know, at some point I might play the next one. Although, even 8 looked like it was going back to the shit ways, right? Like, 8 did not look as good as 7. Resident Evil 7 looked like genuinely a good spooky game. Resident Evil 8, look, it has the giant the giant angry woman in it, so I will always love it a little bit. But it seemed like it was going back to the goofiness, but in a way that seemed fun rather than irritating, like the 5 and 6 or whatever. 8 is great. Right, fight me in Jump Zone. Oh, the amount of... I imagine if we tried to fight in a trampoline zone, it would end how every trampoline session I had as a kid went, which is eventually you collide with another child and hurt your head very, very badly. I enjoyed Resident Evil 4. I did, but again, it's been a while. I don't think Resident Evil VR counts because it's so different, right? I mean, the controls are different. I did, like, clip inside of a cow at one point during it, but that was fun because I like cows. Oh, I want a trampoline. I don't think my garden is big enough for a trampoline. Also, trampolines are probably very expensive. I feel like the only people who had trampolines when I was a kid were the people who were, like, you know, noticeably more upper middle class than I did. Than I was, you know, people who had, like, money. The same people who had, like, a pool table in their house had trampolines. It's like, you know, they had some money from somewhere, whereas I did not. So I was like, oh, your parents have, like, fucking 3 cars and a pool table and a trampoline? Something's vaguely different. Right, I need stone and some food. Ooh, mushos, that'll do. I'll take some mushos. It may end like a Final Destination movie. Just getting your skin sheared off by those exposed metal springs. Again, if it's an old trampoline, I don't think they make them like that anymore. I was always jealous of kids with trampolines and or pools. I would have preferred a trampoline to a pool, but I would like a pool. Not now, I think. I don't think I'd want a pool now. I'm fine with just having like a small, nice garden with some trees. Like, I no longer want that sort of thing. I don't know what that says about me. Maybe I've just been beaten down from aspirational living. I've enjoyed every Resident Evil game I've played, which are the remake, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4, and that one puzzle game that's basically Bejeweled. It's a bit cold and rainy there for an outdoor pool. That's true. I don't think outdoor pools are really a big thing here. Because even in summer... The sort of general accepted thing is that even in summer here, there's about a month where you can comfortably swim. I remember telling people what the water temperature was here at the height of summer, when people swim a lot and when I was swimming. And I can't remember where they were from, but they looked at me like I was fucking insane. Like, that was dangerous. I think I said, oh yeah, the water temperature gets up to about... 18 to 21 degrees in, like, July. And that's when most people swim and when I do a lot of swimming. And they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's so cold. There isn't one bad Resident Evil remake game, long may it continue. I am very suspicious of the whole idea of remaking video games. But the Resident Evil ones do seem to do it well and people like them. So, continue. I grew up with a pool, but I wasn't upper middle class. I was rural Canadian. The pool was a dirt pit that would get bleach dumped in it once in a week. Oh, Christ. The ladder was literally a rusty DeWalt ladder. Like a step ladder. Oh, that's horrifying. I love it. Right, get me some more tools. Stone pickaxe, stone hatchet. And we will get some more stone before we go back. There we go. We're back. Yippee. Everything's fine. Oh, that sounds horrible. Like an actual ladder from DeWalt. Oh, ingenuity. Have you ever been annihilated in Rust? Or have you been annihilated in Rust? Or is this your first time in this wipe? This is my first time on this wipe. Although, yes, we have also been murdered. Twice? Nuku has a well. I didn't forget. I don't have a well either. I don't know. There's not much I would want in my garden. Because I like just having... a nice garden, I like having a nice garden with trees and some plants and some wildflowers in it. So I wouldn't want to ruin it with anything. I would like a swing. I think that's the only thing. I would like a swing. Because I really like swings. I've never really grown out of the swing thing of, like, being 4 years old and jumping off swings and hurting my feet. I really like it. I did this probably about 2 months ago, for anybody wanting context on my age when I do this. Probably about 2 months ago. I really like going very, very, very high on swings and then jumping off at the very top and landing flat on my feet so that your feet get that kind of spicy feeling. I don't know how else to describe it. When you land on your feet from a relatively high height and your feet are too flat and you don't, like, absorb the shock properly and your feet go all weird and, like, staticky. I like that a lot, and I do it a lot on swings. I could hop on and give you a hand if you like. You're free to hop on. Perfect description. I was 3 meters deep, 5 meters wide, and 10 meters long. The pit existed entirely because a neighbour needed the dirt, and my parents couldn't be fucked to fill it in. So they just added a ladder, and in winter would shovel the snow into it. That's terrifying. Spicy works. Spicy or staticky. Like if your feet turned to sparkling water. You know, sort of fizzy. Fizzy would be another way of putting it. I used to love doing little spinnies on the swing, like turn and turn and turn, and then let the chain go and just whirl around. Oh, I love swings. I was never really a slide person. I never liked slides very much. It was all about swings. Rural Canadian bullshit because no one cared about health and safety. I know nothing about rural Canada because it doesn't really get... Like, rural America is represented in media, I feel, more than rural Canada. Although, saying that, my dad watched a lot of... Is Letterkenny Canadian? And is Trailer Park Boys Canadian? He watched a lot of both of those shows. I think those might have been rural. Swings and roundabouts, except not the saying the actual playground items. I liked roundabouts okay, but the problem was is that I would always go on a roundabout until I got very sick and threw up. Oh, it's a boar! Let me in my house. Jesus Christ. Right, let's upgrade to stone a little bit. Just a little bit. As a treat. Trailer Park Boys is Canadian, there we go. I would always go on, like... Not... What am I looking for? Roundabouts, that's the word I'm thinking of. Roundabouts and... like little springy things. Like, they were like little animals on springs that would just like bounce back and forth. And also these things that would like spin you really quickly, just one person. And I would always feel unbelievably ill afterwards and end up throwing up. And my mum would just be very long suffering about it and go, yep, are you surprised? This always fucking happens. Can you just stop doing it? No. You upgraded to stone before sorting a roof. Yeah, probably not a great idea. Well, I want stone to do a roof. I don't mean to alarm you, but someone has stolen your roof. Right, let's go get a fuck ton of stone, right? And then we'll build all of it at stone at once. Rural Canada is something of an in-between between Trailer Park Boys and Red Green. I don't know what Red Green is. Red Green... Wait, I think I have heard the name Red Green Show before. Like, is that like a comedy show? Or I don't actually know. I'm not sure what Red Green is. Hello, pig. Pig. I don't know. I don't really know anything about Canada, to be honest. I watch a couple of Canadian streamers. And that's really where most of my knowledge of Canada comes from. And the occasional news that comes out about Canadian politics. Like, I know nothing about Canadian politics other than Justin Blackface Trudeau, basically. I couldn't really name much. I could name, I think, some of the provinces, some of the cities, a couple of streamers, and that might be it. The Red Green Show started as a stand-up and evolved into a sitcom, and it's Canadian. There's like famous Canadian comedy troupes, isn't there? Which one are the whitest kids you know Canadian? Are they Canadian? I don't really know. It was really more of a variety show, cum sitcom. A cum sitcom. Their networks aren't brave enough to make a cum sitcom. What am I talking about? I don't really know. Right, just get all the scrap you can, because you will need to, you know, research stuff at some point. I'm getting a headache. Am I moving my mouse around quicker than usual? I recognize that this game is very bad for people with motion sickness. I've heard that. Especially the way I play first-person shooters, which is fucking constant twitchy movement. Believe it or not, I have toned down my mouse movement for stream. Because I remember people saying when I was playing Minecraft at first, people saying like, Jesus Christ, can you stop whipping the camera around like that? I am very twitchy when it comes to games. Imagine whatever that show Tim Allen did in the 90s. Oh, Christ, a variety show in the style of stand-up. Are you talking about Home Improvement with Tim the Toolman Taylor? My dad loved that. Kids in the Hall are Canadian. There we go. Kids in the Hall. I was thinking of Whitest Kids You Know. Same shit, right? Dun 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 dun. Fuck, I hate Tim Allen. I think Tim Allen... Oh, he shouldn't be in prison for all of that cocaine smuggling, but he should be in prison for the quality of his media. Christ, I hate Tim Allen. My dad loved Home Improvement, mainly because he liked Tim Allen, and probably still does. That kind of comedy. My dad had terrible taste in comedy. Tim Allen, Jeff Dunham, Jimmy Carr, you know, all that shit. He's in jail? No, he was in jail. I think it was before he became famous even. He went to jail for cocaine smuggling, I think. Is this how I found out Tim Allen is in prison for drugs? He has done his time. It's fine now. Now he's in movies like Wild Hogs with John Travolta. That was so long ago. Is that really my example of a contemporary Tim Allen thing? The 2004 movie Wild Hogs. Christ. Where I think William H. Macy was in that as well. That's another Mary Elizabeth Winstead moment. What the fuck was he doing in that? She yawned. Hello, pig. The woman does the cooking and the man does the tools. Haha. That's basically the show. I mean, it's one of those worthless comedies like, you know, King of Queens or Everybody Loves Raymond. They're all basically the same show to lesser or varying degrees. And they're all insufferable. Tim Allen's also a creep. Oh yes, Tim Allen is a horrible human being. Ooh. Really horrible. To explain the Red Green Show, basically just don't acknowledge women and men sniff duct tape. Maybe I'll get really into the Red Green Show. Maybe I'll get really into Home Improvement. I watched too much of it because my dad liked it. So I know... fuck me, I would probably recognise most of the cast and plot lines. Oh, don't watch Tim Allen. Again, Tim Allen should still be in prison. Not even for running the drugs. He's a snitch. And also makes trashy conservative sitcoms. Everyone Loves Raymond is one of the higher grosses due to syndication shows of all time. Found that out recently. I think I knew that as well, which is baffling because it's one of the lowest quality sitcoms I've ever seen. I think Everybody Loves Raymond, to me, and I'm not sure, this might just be nonsense, but it's how I feel about it, right? This is more of an emotional truth than a real truth. To me, Everybody Loves Raymond is like the American version of Keeping Up Appearances on UK TV Gold, in that it's so aggressively unfunny that it makes me want to gouge out my eyes when I see it. Like, it's the opposite of humor, but not in like an anti-humor way, like a Curb Your Enthusiasm, which I also am not really into, but it's not that. It's trying to be funny, I think, but it's failing so spectacularly that it drains emotion from your life. Like, I think you become less funny watching Everybody Loves Raymond or Keeping Up Appearances. I think it's a pace, to put it in millennial terms, it's a bit like a Dementor. You know, from Harry Potter, where they like suck out all of your joy and happiness. It's a bit like that. I don't understand why they got made. I don't understand why they kept getting made. And I don't know why they still get shown. It's depressing comedy. The fuck's a Dementor? You're so much better off not knowing. Now I'm an adult, I realise how terrible all the programmes I used to watch as a child were. Yeah, same. Keeping Up Appearances is the first pro-trans BBC show. Born told they're a bucket, choose to be a boucher. I was genuinely expecting a little factoid there. Oh. It's Hyacinth Bouquet, actually. Ah. Fuck, I hope that character died in the last episode. I never watched the end of that show because, Christ, why would you put yourself through anything like that? But I hope it was one of those standard British sitcom endings where inexplicably it's sad and they all die. Because that would maybe be the first funny thing they ever managed. I've never done gardening with Harry. I remember watching it in the morning before work and it motivated me to go to work. Genuinely, a dead-end office job is genuinely preferable to watching Keeping Up Appearances. Sorry for being too British, by the way. Not one joke in Everyone Loves Raymond is as just as that. I fucked it. I mean, as good as that. Pig is being very cute right now. Has she, like, crossed her little arms? It's very sweet. Right, I'm still looking for stone, if you're wondering why I'm just wandering around here. This is why I'm not a writer. This is why keeping up appearances made the big bucks. It can't have made much money, surely. Sorry. A la the young ones. Okay. Here's where I get controversial. I don't like the young ones. I know Nuku will be angry. But, like, I think the young ones I found not nearly as bad as keeping up appearances. But I do not like the young ones. I think maybe it's just aged very badly. But I kept going, when do the jokes happen? I don't think I like Rick Mail. I think Rick Mail I find quite annoying. I know he's beloved. People love Rick Mail. He's like a comedy legend. He's held up as, like, you know, a formational or formative, I think is the word I'm looking for, kind of influence in a lot of comedians. I just don't get it. I don't understand why he's funny. And I'm not saying he isn't funny, I just don't get it. It's a bit like a Steve Martin thing for me, where I fundamentally don't get, or a Robin Williams, where I don't fundamentally understand what's funny about Rick Mail. Same, Young Ones sucks. There's dozens of us. Love him, sorry. Young Ones ended with everyone dying. Spoilers for a 300-year-old show. Bottom was the only program my parents would let me watch. I've never even seen Bottom. I have no clue why, other than it's terrible. The police coming in and smashing stuff up is apt as today as ever. I remember liking the musical segments. The musical segments were fun. Oh, it's a deer. Sorry, it spooked me a little. We finally found some stone as well. Could I find some more? A little bit of stone? Just a little bit of stone. Bottom was chaos and very crude. I liked it when I was wee. Maybe I would have liked Young Ones when I was very small. Also, Welcome Zabalbus. But I just don't get it. It's one of those comedy shows that maybe you had to be alive in the 80s to like. Men Behaving Badly, that's another one. I watched a little bit of that because I liked Carolyn Quentin and things and went, oh, this is not funny. Like, even aside from any possible problematic stuff, I was like, I just don't know what's funny in this. I am pro Bottom. Bottom always struck me as a show I should never watch. Like, it was too old for me. Yeah, I was kind of the same with Young Ones until I finally watched it and went, I should have just left this in my mind. He was funny because it was so obtuse and fuck off conservatives. That's basically it. It feels like very early alternative comedy, Rick Mail, right? Where his whole shtick is basically... It's a bit South Parky. I know that's rude because South Park is beyond shit, but like it's a bit South Parky, his whole shtick. It's basically like, you know, very broad caricatures of political figures and stuff. I just don't find it funny. You can find it funny. I'm not saying it's not funny. I just don't like it. Young Ones like Royal Family looked too British for me. Oh, this is another one. Again, everybody of a certain age who's British is going to be so mad. My parents really liked Royal Family. I watched 2 episodes of it and went, I would rather be watching Paint Dry. My mum and dad would quote the Royal Family all the time. They loved it. They thought it was one of the funniest things ever. And I just don't understand it. Then before that, it was Are You Being Served? That's even worse, I think. Are You Being Served? The constant pussy jokes on Are You Being Served? Oh, this boy is a bit camp. That's the joke. This woman says pussy a lot. That's the joke. If you're in your 50s, you're devastated right now. Back when your parents controlled what went in front of your eyeballs. Yeah, basically. I think I didn't watch a lot of these until I was older because I had access to the internet for a young age. So I was watching a lot more stuff I enjoyed. And again, I imagine this is going to be the same as like what younger people will say about my humor. Like my favorite show when I was a kid, up until fairly recently, honestly, probably up until my late teens, early 20s, my favorite show was probably Black Books on Channel 4. I fucking loved that. Emma watched that recently and went, this sucks, but I still kind of liked it. So, you know, I'm not, you know, people in glass houses. Thoughts on Blackadder? I really like Blackadder too. I think Blackadder is really good, except the first series of Blackadder, because the first series of Blackadder is unwatchable, maybe, and that's being polite. I think the first series of Blackadder is one of the worst things. It's really bad. Series 2, 3, and especially 4. I hadn't actually watched series 4 of Blackadder until about 2 or 3 years ago when Emma made me watch it for the first time because she was like, you haven't seen series 4 of Blackadder? And it's what I just said, the sort of sad episodes of a sitcom, but it's really good. It made me very sad. Series 1 was, yeah, then they found their footing. Yes. Also, they found their frotting, is how I read that. I haven't seen these either, but I know of them. Blackadder is genuinely quite good. It's like a fun historical comedy. Historical comedy. But I'd recommend Blackadder. Was there time travel in it? No. They did one with time travel, I believe, like a Christmas special. They did that thing where like a long-running British TV show ends and they just keep it going through Christmas specials forever. But, you know, I'm in. If I bring you a present, you promise not to use it against me? Sure. I won't instantly kill you. I said my rule was, if I haven't physically spoken to you, or spoken to you online at least, then I will kill you on sight. But we've spoken online. What are we on about now? Blackadder. Just British sitcoms in general, I guess. I don't know. I liked a lot of the 2000s ones. Some of them have aged particularly badly, I would say. Like, I really liked Graham Linehan's shows. I really liked Black Books. I really liked Father Ted. I really liked... I kind of liked IT Crowd. I was never a huge IT Crowd boy, but I liked it. Like Flying Circus. Flying Circus I watched recently, again, for a first time since I was a kid. And I actually really liked it still. I thought it was good. I thought it was a fun time. IT Crowd was always shite, sorry to say. I think I agree, to be honest. I liked IT Crowd at the time. It was not my favourite of that Monsters stuff. You know, I preferred Father Ted, obviously, because that's the best one. I preferred Black Books. That was probably my favourite, even though it's not as good as Father Ted, really. But IT Crowd always felt a bit more low rent, and I watched it again recently with Emma, and I didn't really like it, especially as it goes on. I think after the first series or two, it's not great. IT Crowd has its moments, but wasn't strong overall. I would agree. I mean, it introduced me to a lot of people I like. Did it? Is that a lie? I like Matt Berry. That's basically it, to be honest. I like Matt Berry. IT Crowd was skirting a little too close to Big Bang Theory's plan of look nerds. That's funny. I feel like, yeah, IT Crowd walked so that Big Bang Theory could run. And by run, I mean into a big pit full of spikes. And its rotting corpse stank up television for about a decade. It typecast Matt Berry forever. Yes, it has. I think Matt Berry's very funny, but I wish he was allowed to do more than the pompous Shakespearean creep character. Because I like him a lot. He seems cool. You know my thoughts on Ayawadi. I really like Ayawadi in one or two things, and then don't like him in anything else. I really, really, really love... Here's a recommendation for a vaguely... I was about to say old. This is probably still early 2000s, isn't it? Like 2001 or something? I really, really love Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. I think Garth Marenghi's Dark Place is one of the best comedies I've ever seen. I love it. And he's really funny in that. I think Richard Ayoade is great in that. Unfortunately, he kind of has done that shtick for everything else since. He has not changed his slightly grating shtick in any way since that show. Oh yes, and also he's a prick. He did a cover quote for fucking Graham Linehan's new Nightmare book. Yes, he has the one character. I think the ID Crowd is more ha-ha-ha nerds, and the Big Bang Theory starts as ha-ha-ha nerds and ends up at ha-ha-ha normies and nerds. Very, very good in that. Then I got to know him. Yep, there we go. If you only saw that, you'd go, my God, what a talent. It's a bit like if you only watch What We Do in the Shadows, the movie. You'd go, my God, Taika Waititi is a fucking comedy genius. And then you watch almost anything else he's made. And you go, ugh, Jesus Christ. So yeah, similar kind of vibe, I think. I was going to say, why found Garth Marenghi's Dark Place on Amazon Prime, not knowing I'd seen it when it first came out, and said, I think you might like this, and it's clear she knows me. I showed it to Emma, and she really liked it as well, which says a lot, because she's not really into that kind of humour. She likes Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, though, and bafflingly, she really likes Mighty Boosh. I do too, but that show is terrible and problematic in various ways. Hunt for the Wilder People is best. You know what, actually, credit where credit is due, I really liked Hunt for the Wilder People as well. I thought Hunt for the Wilder People was a very fun, sweet, charming movie. I just really like Sam Neill and everything, and I like that kid and stuff. He's probably the best part of Deadpool 2, a movie that is not good. I hate the Boosh with such a fiery passion. I really expected her to. I should hate Mighty Boosh. Everything about Mighty Boosh says that I should hate it. But I don't, and I don't really know why. It's like the Maxwell Silver Hammer of TV shows for me. Everything says I should despise that show, but I don't. I like it. Same. Right, front half is... You know what? Let's just put some wood up, I suppose, as a roof, just so I'm not at risk of airstrikes. Yeah, because a wooden roof is going to help with that. Let's just put a roof up, just because I'm paranoid about the open air. Fucking hated Mighty Boosh for the most part. I went to uni during the height of its popularity, and it just reminds me of incredibly unfunny students. That is the vibe that it has, yes, definitely. I think I'm clouded by nostalgia. I guarantee I'm clouded by nostalgia. I think if I saw Mighty Boosh for the first time now, I would not like it nearly as much as I do. But I watched it when I was quite small. I mean, that aired in, what, 2003? I didn't watch it in 2003, but I watched it probably when I was about 12 years old. Oh, Jesus Christ, that scared the shit out of me. Yay! Hello, welcome. Ooh, stone! Oh, that's so helpful. That is the most helpful thing you could have given me. Thank you. Stones and wood, incredible stuff. Love Flight of the Conchords. Flight of the Conchords is better than basically any show I've mentioned so far. Ooh, a gun! I will try not to shout. The urge is so there. Okay, it's away. It's away. It's away. It's fine. It's away. Thank you. Flight of the Conchords mostly holds up okay. I really like Flight of the Conchords. I rewatched it many times and really, really liked it. I think the second series, I think everyone would agree.
Home and hopefully not killed by the chopper.
Thank you. I think Series 2 is generally agreed to not be as good. You know, it's just kind of, it's lacking something a little bit, but it's still a good show, right? Lovely voice. Well, Gerald is an actor, so he works on his voice. I like the series of Conchords. The second series didn't speak to me as much. Something felt a little off. I think it's because, and I think they say this themselves in interviews I've seen with them, and this is the reason they didn't do a Series 3 of Flight of the Conchords. If you don't know what Flight of the Conchords is, it is a New Zealand/American sitcom on HBO about two New Zealand shepherds/musicians who are trying to make it in New York City, and it's good. It's like a musical comedy show. It's a very funny time. They have said that basically the songs and routines that they were adapting for Series 1 of their show, they had been working on and performing for probably like a decade beforehand. And then, you know, for Series 2, they had like 6 months in order to fucking make stuff. So it's like, you know, just rushed and a bit kind of worse, basically. Always happy to Kristen Shaw and things. I'm not allowed to mention Christian Shaw around the house anymore because I once mentioned to Emma that I think Kristen Shaw is probably the most attractive person in television. And Emma got very angry. And now anytime Kristen Shaw's in something, she makes an angry face. You're not wrong. I'm not. I think it comes down to Kristen Shaw and Gwendolyn Christie. She's angry at both of them now. Lemmy is pretty funny too, to be honest. I like Lemmy's show. I think it's a very funny show. I think, genuinely, talking about swings earlier, did Pig just poop? Yes. Hello. They do that sometimes. What was I even saying? I can't even remember what I was saying. Oh yes, when I was talking about swings earlier, I've never felt more spoken to by a comedy show than when Lemmy was talking about swings in that one episode of Lemmy's show. Where it's just like, why, as an adult man, are you not allowed to go on swings without feeling like you're being judged as a freak by everyone around you? I was like, oh, I'm 100% telling Emma you've been talking about Kristen Shaw. I think she's just a genuinely funny person as well. Like, aside from that, I think she's genuinely very comically gifted. I think it's always fun to see her and stuff. She's on, she's in every kind of American comedy show now, right? As, like, bit parts. She was in Our Flag Means Death for an episode and was very funny.
Welcome to the Goblin Cave.
Oh, thank you. Jibbers for the follow, that's very kind. The Voice at Night left me feeling seen. I think it's a good show. You forget that Lemmy actually produced, you know, like a good comedy show instead of just being like a fucking miserable man on Twitch. But, you know, genuinely very funny. It's more than I've ever done. That was the pilot as well, it was. Right, let's make this stone as well. I think that's everything stone? Is that everything stone? I think, oh no, not this one. Hang on. Now is it everything stone except for these doors? I think that makes sense. Right, let's put the stone in here. Let's go out a little bit, try and gather some metal, build some, maybe hunt a boy, hunt somebody to get some, what are they called? You know what I'm saying. Fat, that's it, animal fat. I'm still discovering more Twitch channels because of this Rust map. I like communal Rust stuff. You know, again, Rust can only really keep my interest for a couple of weeks at a time. But I like the sort of communal aspect of it when it's not a horrible time. Let's put all of this away. I don't need anything on me right now. And we'll just go out and try and find some animal fat. It'll be fun. Bring back the topless dancing with a dildo on YouTube days, IMO. For everybody, not just Libby. The internet in general has become a bit more sanitized. I mean, I say that when I believe... God, it feels like another world when I try to actually think about things I've said on my own streams, like less than 2 hours ago. I actually feel like I'm a different person now. But I think earlier in the stream, I talked about ripping off somebody's erect penis through a glory hole. So maybe it's not that sanitized. But you can't show that sort of thing on Twitch, right? Even if you mark it as mature. If I animated that, exclamation mark quote, do turkeys have penises? I think we found out that no, they don't. It's just kind of cloacal contact going on there. Basically, tribbing for birds. Is that a phrase still? I guess wild turkeys, because domestic turkeys, famously, are too fucking fucked up by inbreeding and selective breeding to be able to have sex by themselves. But I guess wild turkeys must scissor. Just make it a reaction video, you'll be fine. Oh, I assume everybody has seen that news recently. A streamer who I don't even want to name, they're such a prick, but did a reaction video to some atrocities in Gaza, and it was like fucking thumbnail going at a fucking blown up building by an Israeli airstrike, and it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing in the world? What's happened? The internet has gone far enough, I think. Such a fucking moron. Yep. I think that person should honestly be banned from internet access, because clearly they can't be trusted. It's a very big streamer. I finally upset Automod, incredible. A very, very big streamer. And I don't know, all of the biggest streamers seem like pricks. Does it just happen once you get to be a huge streamer? And I mean, like, you know, hundreds of thousands of viewers or followers or whatever. Or like 1 million followers or whatever. Do you just automatically become the worst person in the world. Because it seems to just be the case. Or I think it might just attract people. Like, being an absolute cunt does seem to pay off in traditional media as well as streaming and kind of new media. It's automatic. You know, it's why Jeremy Kyle was one of the most watched shows on television for a while, right? Probably one of the most fucking horrible sniveling pricks ever born. But he was huge. It's why The Sun is the biggest newspaper in Britain and one of the biggest newspapers in the world, I believe. Oh, when chat explodes when you do it, there's maybe a link made of, oh, I should do that then. Yeah, exactly. It's hate clicks, it's controversial clicks. Because I guarantee after that video was released, people went to his channel and were like, oh, let's watch more of this stuff and leave angry comments or whatever, giving him lots of money. You know? I don't know. I think it would make me a husk of a person. Don't forget The Sun also had boobs target audience. Oh, I hate when that gets typed. Yes, The Sun also had that whole barely legal tits thing going on. That was kind of its brand, yes. I went out looking for metal, promptly forgot that that's what I was doing, and came back with nothing. Let's go find metal. Jesus Christ. I want some metal. Oh, I'm starving to death! Holy shit, where mushos, or some sort of... There's meats here, Jesus Christ. I forgot to run bets as well. I'll run bets next time I play this, I guess. Where's the wood? Wood. Yes, the Sun is known. I think they got rid of them for a publicity stunt and then brought them back like 2 weeks later. But the Sun, it's a daily newspaper, and I think it's every day they have a topless, very young woman on page 3 of the newspaper, and they are known as page 3 girls. And it's literally just like a woman showing her boobs going in kind of an awkward way, and there's a speech bubble going like, I'm well up for it, innit? Oh, I love the footy. Oh. And then you just look at that, and I guess like fucking 40-year-old men just look at it and go, whoa, just coming up on the Sun. They're actually known as page 3 stunners. Oh. Back in my day, there were 16-year-olds too. Yep, that was a thing. That was, they're now 18, but now... Yeah, Chloe, 19 from Scunthorpe. I think war's bad, tee. It's very bad. Don't buy The Sun. The Sun, I've said this before, The Sun it's not really a newspaper, it's more of a sort of racist comic book. I didn't know about this, and I didn't need to know. My cousin was on page 3, and then years later, Love Island. I think she was like 18 at the time, and I found it so weird. Oh, really? Daily Mail writes utter lies and then posts an apology hidden at the bottom weeks later. The Daily Mail is kind of like the thinking man's The Sun, right? Which means that it's even more racist and horrible, but doesn't have breasts. The Sun had a big article about paedophilia, and then on the literal opposite page awarded a 16-year-old Charlotte Church Rear of the Year. Yes, they have countdowns to celebrity birthdays, 18th birthdays. They have, yeah, that was the one I'm thinking of. The Sun had a big article about... I think they parodied this in Brass Eye's Pedageddon episode. Yes, it was a reaction to the paedophilia Brass Eye. There we go. They had a thing saying, this is fucking disgusting. How dare they make law of this issue? And then, you know, missing the point, or not missing the point, it's just rage clicks, but for a different era. You know, ignoring that it was a satire of the media industry's obsession with this sort of thing. Had a fucking 16-year-old girl sexualized on the opposite page. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Have you no sense of irony or shame? The answer is no, obviously, but it's a rhetorical question. You folks are talking like The Sun is an actual newspaper. It's fucking boggerel. Again, though, it is the most... I believe it was, at least. I don't know if it is now. Hang on. Is it still the most read newspaper in Britain? The Sun. Again, newspaper is putting it fucking... Ugh. British broadsheet newspaper. Again, calling it a broadsheet is genuinely insulting to the format. A tabloid broadsheet newspaper published by the News Group Newspapers division of News UK, a subsidiary of News Corp, the Murdoch Foundation. Founded as a broadsheet in 1964, became a tabloid in 69. The largest daily newspaper in the United Kingdom. Oh, not anymore, actually. It was overtaken by Metro in 2018. That doesn't really count, I think, because the Metro is free. The Metro is a free newspaper that you get in public transport in England. That is the only one that beats it. The Sun, other than that, is the largest daily newspaper in the UK. Fuck me. There's the Sun on Sunday. It's been involved in many controversies over its history. Shocking, really. Right, let's go away from that. There is the Irish Sun. It does exist here as well. Back to the game. My stepdad bought that every day in the 2000s. I didn't know anybody who bought the Sun until I met Emma's parents. Who bought the Sun and the Daily Mail, both of them, both religiously. I think her mum read the Sun and her dad read the Daily Mail because he was putting on airs. Again, Daily Mails. The tiers of it, in terms of like right-wing rags, are like the Sun. Then for people who, you know, maybe have read a book once, they read the Daily Mail, and then it moves up to the Times if you work in finance and want the poor eradicated. A lot of folk buy the Daily Mail for the crossword. Oh, Christ. I didn't even know they had a crossword. I just know it from the racism. I mean, there's a reason the Daily Mail is referred to by a lot of people as the Daily Heil. Because it's not even just because it was founded by an actual Nazi. It sort of wears those controversies like a medal of bullheaded honor. Yes, it's sort of like it's a newspaper for sort of aging lads, right? The Daily Fail, that's another one. For aging lads, you know? It's the sort of people who go like, who go beat red in Lanzarote and make staff's life hell. Sort of people who really belt along to lager, lager, lager. I don't like it. Can you tell? Can you tell my opinions on the Sun? It's very much like the News of the World, right? Which closed down because of that phone hacking scandal. Again, this is all very British. Although I don't really read many Irish news sources. I should read more, but a lot of them are very bad. Like, a lot of them are Irish versions of English newspapers. Like, there's the Irish Sun, there's the Irish Mail, the Irish Daily Mail, there's the Irish Times. You know, they're all just sort of like Irishified versions of shit British newspapers. There's the Examiner, there's the Independent. They're around, you know, they're fine. All these fucking judges making us tell the truth. For fuck's sake, we're just saying what we all think. That's the game plan. Yeah, it's sort of like, I'm just saying what we're all thinking, the newspaper. I'm brutally honest. I'm just really brutally honest, and some people take that the wrong way, babes. The newspaper. Irish Indo is the original for us, but shite as well. Yep. All fucking judges. Yep, I read that. I wish it was brighter so I could go out and hunt. Ugh. Same in Australia, but yeah, it's all Murdoch, isn't it? Babes, I just like, that's... The Essex accent is maybe the most smug, condescending British accent, so I just do that voice a lot. How's it going, babes? Love you, babes. I don't know what's Murdoch owned here. I don't think Murdoch... Does the Murdoch Press have as much of a stranglehold in Ireland as it does in Britain and Australia? I don't think so. But it definitely has some, I imagine. I mean, the Sun, the Irish Sun, I imagine, is Murdoch Press, right? Just like the original Sun. Babes. Sorry, when I was in Birmingham recently, somebody called me babes, and it was like, no clue, to be fair. They own a lot of newspapers, is all you need to know. Just a lot of Rupert Murdoch grimy little fingers and a lot of pies. Somebody's calling for your help in game, are they? How low is my volume that I didn't hear that? Babes or Bab? Bab? Ugh. He doesn't own everything here, but it's not him, it's some other right-wing cunt. I imagine it's the same here. Don't think there's a lot of independent news journalism going on anymore. Because as newspapers, you know, their circulation went down and down and down because of the internet, then obviously people were able to buy them all up cheap. Oh, in chat! Oh! Dreya, I need your help. Fuck, slightly. Are you okay, Nuke? There we go. I have not been reading the chat. What do you want? Bab is full Brummy vibes. How's it going, Bab? I can't do a Birmingham accent, can you tell? Social media has its problems, but you can at least access information from source rather than through some agenda, newspapers, 10 o'clock news, etc. I need to find Callum or get access to Callum. All I know is they killed me recently. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I watched TV news for the first time recently. Again, I mean, when I was a kid, I watched TV news, but for the first time fairly recently in a long, long time. I may have done the same to them. And it was weird. It was a weird feeling. Not just getting everything through a giant scrolling feed of nightmares. I think social media, the main way I got news for the past few years was through Twitter. And it's no longer tenable, I'm just going to say. I think Elon Musk's Twitter, X.com, has become so bad for news and for misinformation and for disinformation that I don't think it's really usable as a news source anymore. I think it's really quite terrible now. Really drove at home sort of recent stuff that's been happening, how bad and unusable the fucking thing is. So I wouldn't recommend it. But I've been trying to find other news sources, and I just don't know where to go. Like, the newspapers suck around here. TV news is not very good. Am I going to fucking watch RTE? Not really, no. It's definitely a plus point, but not reporting willing to dig and connect things that don't seem obvious. Yeah, exactly. There's not many, like... I guess now, one of the problems is that you would now have to find individual fucking investigative journalists and support them on Patreon or Substack or something now, right? Like, that's a thing. Like, newsletters and stuff are coming back because social media is unusable for that. And news organizations like BBC and RT and stuff like that have less and less investigative journalism. So it's literally just sort of reporting, you know, press releases and stuff now. Which sucks. You know, oh God! What's hitting me? Did I get it? I don't know. Did I get it? I don't know what was attacking me. Was it a pig? Okay, good. That's actually fine. That'll let me get maybe some animal fat. Yeah, there we go. Animal fat. Yippee. 60, 80? I think that actually might be enough to build a furnace, which is perfect, because then we can get some metal. Okay, wonderful stuff. Let me make some low-grade fuel, please. I don't know how much I need. 80 should do it, though. Where is my house? I don't know where the door is. It's too dark. Oh, Christ. Why did I leave? Why did I go outside? I don't like going outside. Is this my house? Vegan. Yeah, just in general, I would say the world's in a bad place. But not, I don't know. Bad things are happening in the world. But I think still, this is another problem with social media and the ability to access... You know, it started with 24-hour news. The ability to access constant news at your fingertips, I think, has made me a more pessimistic, depressed person. Because by all metrics, in terms of, like, global death and murder rates and sickness and stuff like that, the world is better than it was 100 years ago. And keeps getting better. Aside from climate change, which is getting markedly worse and will probably kill us all. But in other metrics, it's doing all right. But having constant updates really does make you hyper aware of all of the bad shit that's happening in the world all the time. And I do think there is an aspect of maybe our little ape brains not really being able to handle it. Because there's the, I can't remember exactly what it is. Is it the 150 rule? There's the 150 theory, or the 150 rule, which is that humans, when we were evolving, and we're still evolving, obviously, but humans formed groups naturally of about 150 people. And most people's social media connections go up to about 150 people. And most people's real-life connections, like the amount of people they would consider from acquaintances up to close friends, is about 100 to 150 people. And that was the average sort of size of a tribe or a camp of earlier humans. And of, like, tribes now, it tends to, like, once you get over about 200 people, they tend to split off and make their own tribe. And I think maybe that is sort of a reason why it sort of short circuits our brain when we look at social media, because suddenly you have hundreds of thousands of people that you have a direct view into instead of just those 150. I can't even handle 150, to be honest. I mean, this is all pseudoscientific nonsense coming from me, so don't pay attention to any of it. This is essentially like, you know, when if you're at a bar for whatever reason and an old man comes and grabs your arm and starts talking about nothing, that's basically what's happening. But it you know, I occasionally think about that. Like, maybe we have too much going on. Like, you know, I'm not saying that we should all go down into, like, tribes of 150 people, but, like, maybe we all know too much about each other. Isn't that a headline on a newspaper? I can't remember what newspaper it is, but there's a famous headline that gets used as a meme a lot, which was, we should all know less about each other. And I do think I agree. Like, I don't think I need to know nearly as much about the world as I do, or about other people as I do, especially when it's more trivial stuff. I mean, obviously, I should know about a lot of stuff in the world, but, like, especially, like, celebrities' personal lives. I shouldn't know anything about that shit. I really shouldn't. I should not know who Heidi Klum is, basically. There's an article called that, yes. I'll probably go get some metal and build some tools and then, you know, log out. I know it is ironic coming from an oversharing streamer, but I think we have a sickness in our brain that makes us do it. Like, I think there is a real temptation deep in the human body to sort of share as much as possible, especially if you are maybe starved of other human contact, to sort of overshare or, you know, just kind of gather people around you. But then that becomes like sort of basically collecting humans, and it never ends up good, I think. I've not asked about your kinks, but yet here I am. We're able to work together in massive groups based on abstract concepts, but that's not the same as the 150 rule. Yes, these folks are your people. If you force empathy beyond that, we struggle. We need to know about beyond the 150 because, yes, exactly. And it's why also a lot of the time it's harder to conceptualize tragedy the higher the numbers. It's like 5 people dying. You can sort of recognize that in your brain and go, oh my God. 5,000 people dying, it just becomes like your brain can't 100% take it in. You recognize, oh my God, that's a lot of people, but it's almost an abstract number at that point, and you really have to try to, like, you know, focus on it a bit. You know, it's that sort of thing. We're not great at numbers. It's why I remember reading about, it was in some science class when I was in college or secondary school or wherever, but that thing of, like, human brain pattern recognition and numbers, where if you look at 5 things on a table, if you look like 5 apples on a table, you don't need to count them. You just see 5 apples and your brain just fills in the gap. After about 7, that stops working and you have to count. Like, if somebody holds up 5 fingers, you just go, that's the number 5. It doesn't even become a thought. It's just in your brain, right? Or 4 Resident Evil games, exactly. You see 4, 5, 6 things on a table, your brain just goes, that is 6 things, inherently. When you see 20 things, you can't do that. You just sort of, you have to count. You have to divide them into sections and go, okay, that's 5 there, 5 there. That's about 10. Okay, there we go. And, you know, I think the human brain is just not amazing at big numbers. It's why big numbers are so abstract to you, to us. Except if you're Rain Man. Yes, there are some people who can. Those people get arrested for counting cards, which doesn't seem fair. From what I know about I don't gamble, but from what I know, counting cards is just sort of playing the game very well, and they sort of bar you for doing it. That seems fucked. Elves can feel empathy for much bigger groups. Well, they live for so much longer. Maybe if we were immortal. I've always like fantasized about being immortal. I'd love to be immortal. Immortal, not invulnerable, because I'd like to be able to, you know, at some point, if I got bored. Sorry for that incredibly crass way of putting it. But I'd like to not die of age, basically. I think that would be cool. I'd like to go on for like at least a couple thousand years. Emma always very much disagrees. She's like, oh, I'd fucking hate that. Can you imagine how nightmarish the ordeal of knowing everything you know and keeping all those memories would be? And I'd be like, I'd be fine with it. Thought you'd love death? I'm basically fine either way, I think. I think if I died right now, I'd essentially be fine with it. I think if somebody came in and was like, I'm going to kill you now, I'd go, I'd rather not, but okay. And if I lived for 5,000 years, I think I'd be even more okay with it. But I don't know, it's the in-between bit. Give us your location. Fuck it, love to be an elf. I always wanted to be an elf rather than any of the other races in Lord of the Rings. I'd like to be an elf. If I could be one sort of Dungeons and Dragons or fantasy or Tolkien race, it would probably be an elf. I like them. I like elves. I know that a lot of people don't. Oh, I have so much more metal. Why am I not smelting all of this? Didn't realize I had so much more. Do it, cowards. I think that's almost bannable on Twitch. If they catch you saying things like that. I had to apologize to Callum. Wood elf or Eldar? Wood elf. I don't know why. They seem a bit more in connection with the world rather than a bit more. I don't want to be like fucking drifting about all ethereal like. I want to still be me, right? Millennials embrace death. Shit, we've been through enough. Same but Santa elves. Yep, 100%. Yeah, I don't want to be just like this, you know, ethereal, angelic being. I want to still like fucking grime about a bit. To put it in the weirdest possible way. You know, I want to be able to like roll around in the dirt at some point. Rather, I feel like the Eldar would be like, no, that's beneath us. We're beings of pure soul. They're always English as well. Right. Let me put the rest of this on. I will try and make a metal pickaxe. Oh, no, I can't, can I? I should make a tool bench first then, I guess. Put in something. There we go. Even that up a bit. Immortal Goblin. Yes! Honestly. I think that's fun. Kids, you think you've had it hard. I had to find all the gold skulltulas in Ocarina of Time before there was internet. I did not. I'm very bad at doing collecting stuff in video games because I just lack the patience. I don't think, even with the internet, I have not done that challenge. Are Santa's elves immortal? I don't know. I was about to say I've never checked. They're not real. But like, I've never looked it up or like read about it. Lore is getting confusing here. Hello, Sparkle. Welcome. But I don't know. I don't really celebrate Christmas is the thing, so I don't really know a lot of Christmas lore. I would always zone out when they were doing it in school because I didn't really like Christmas in the first place. You get a big wallet as a reward, which is utterly pointless by then. Oh, in Ocarina of Time. I really like Ocarina of Time. That's an old, busted video game that I really like and think holds up for the most part. Oh, hello, pig. Pig. Do you want a little brush? There you go, little brush. Good. Right, is this smelted? How do I make a tool bench? I forgot. How do I make a workbench? That's it. Wood, metal, scrap. Okay, how much metal do we have? Probably enough, I would say. Yes. Wood, metal, scrap. How much scrap do I need? 50 scrap? Do I have 50 scrap? Yes, I do. Good stuff. They die on Boxing Day. What, they're like mayflies or that one species of moth? They only live like 2 or 3 days. They don't have mouths. They're like that one species of moth that doesn't have a mouth, where they save up all of their energy reserves from their pupal and larval states, and then just sort of work through Christmas and then drop dead, and then like coyotes eat them. Snow coyotes. Where do they live? It's the North Pole, right? But then also some people say Lapland, which is strange. I wonder how many workplace injuries Santa's workshop gets per year. I imagine he treats them fucking horribly. They're not unionized. I just doubt it, right? Are you solo this wipe? I don't know yet, to be honest. I always thought that was very sad, that those moths are born without mouths. I like having a mouth, basically. I don't want to not have one. But I mean, they're probably used to it. That's, you know, that's just how they live, how it's expected to be. I find it slightly sad, exactly like that. Santa and his wife cooks them up in a big pie. I'm gonna put down this table as well. Oh, it's gonna be so annoying if I put it there, but it'll look nice. Fuck it. I'm gonna put it right here. There we go. And I can probably get rid of this campfire. T/remove. I don't need multiple campfires in here. There we go. Wonderful. I've got a big old table. It's like a Foxconn factory. Oh, Christ. Santa's factory with, like, the suicide nets outside the windows. They climb up the little candy canes, but then get caught by the nets outside. Fucking horrifying image. Again, I don't really like Christmas, so I feel fine making these jokes. Right, I'm gonna put this stuff away. I don't need you. I don't need you. I'm gonna put the wood in here. Sorry. Right, I think that's enough for now. I think I've built a little shack that will maybe survive something. Christmas lore is horrible, it turns out. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna play tomorrow. What am I gonna play? You know what? I might play Fable 3 tomorrow. It's been a while since I played Fable 2, and I'm interested. I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to finish Fable 3, because it's gotten very mixed reviews, but I'm interested to see why, at the very least. Because I thought Fable 1 was pretty good. I thought it was an okay game. Not amazing, but it was okay. Fable 2, I really, really liked. I thought Fable 2 was great. It was a really generic fantasy game, but as good as that is. Like, it was a very fun time, and I really liked it. Made me nostalgic, even though I'd never played it. And then Fable 3. Fable 3 is like the dark horse where people are like, Some people really like it, though. So I'm interested to see where I fall. It's a bit like the Mass Effect series, where I think the first Mass Effect game is very good. I think the second Mass Effect game is one of the greatest games ever made. I think it's like a 10 out of 10. I love it. And then the third Mass Effect game, people are mixed on it. I don't really have an opinion yet. But, Fable 3 is a bit like that, right? Where Fable 1, pretty good. Fable 2, ooh, great. Fable 3, Anyway, I'm going to close Rust for Laughs and we will raid out to somebody, shall we? Go on here, close that, close the Liffey Valley Jump Zone homepage, and the Bob Catter video. Mass Effect 3 is great, people are just weird about it. I never finished it, so I don't have an opinion. But, you know, I think I just got Mass Effected out. The problem was, and this is what I haven't done with Fable 3, very specifically, I played Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, all one after the other. And by the time I got halfway through Mass Effect 3, I was so fucking sick of Mass Effect that I took a break from it and then never came back, which happens a lot for me. I just sort of forgot it existed. But I was enjoying Mass Effect 3. I was liking it, but I know that the things that people don't like about Mass Effect 3 happen towards the end of the game, I think. Anyway, let's go /raid. Let's raid this person. If I can spell, which I can't. Sorry, my brain is shutting down. I've been streaming so long, a whole 4 hours. I don't get sick of them. They're my comfort games. I see that. I can definitely see that being sort of a comfort game. A bit like, what was I playing recently? Baldur's Gate 3. I started up a second playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm just jumping back in like once once a week, usually, for like a few hours. I play more Baldur's Gate 3, and I can see that just being like I now understand why people played it multiple times in a row, basically. Because there's enough variation, and it's so long that by the time you finish it, you've kind of forgotten what happened in the first part anyway. So I get it now. Anyway, let's raid this person, shall we? Thank you for watching. I'll be live tomorrow. Let's just start Fable 3. I imagine we'll be finishing Ripper as well this week, because Emma will be free at some point, I assume. And then the day after tomorrow, Wednesday, charity stream. I'll tweet more about it and post more in the Discord about it tomorrow when I fully decide what I'm doing. But I think I'm just going to play like one of the weird fucking games I have. Like maybe the sequel to that Wild Adventure Quest game that I played last time. And Red Riding Hood game. And then we'll play Jackbox. I think I have a few Jackbox games. We can play some Jackbox with chat and stuff like that to round out the 5 hours I'll be live on Wednesday. Bye! See ya! Bye! Thank you for watching! Bye! Bye! Thank you for follows and subscriptions!